Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Start off with Cam and his second going away party. First of all, the way maybe I just assumed that when they're gonna have his second going away party, which I felt like was unnecessary, that they were gonna sit there and do that off screen. I didn't know they were actually going to do that today. Now, I am somewhat conflicted by that because in all reality, I'm kind of just like, why are we doing another one for? We already had a going away party. We don't really need another one. Like, if there was already one, it should just been one. Everyone should have just been there the first time, and we wouldn't have had. We're gonna have a second one because that makes sense. But I'm somewhat of a big old softie, so there was some really nice moments between the boys, between his brothers, and everything like that. I don't know if that's the same Aiden. I have no idea. But it's the same other guy that played Jake. So it was some nice scenes. I didn't really care for the scenes with Liz. It's not there, um, whining and kind of being upset that her son is leaving. It's like, we get it. You're a mother. But it was just like, we're having a second going party because why? Some of that stuff was just like with her and Laura. It just, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care. The only stuff that I actually did like was the moment between the kids and Violet and stuff like that. Just really, showing how much that they love Cam and stuff. So that was cool. Um, Other than that, I felt like it was just completely unnecessary. And again, I felt like they just probably should just all did that yesterday, but whatever. So what are they doing with Miss Wu? First of all, she comes in there. Have said this multiple times. I am so sick and tired of the blatant disrespect that Sonny has showed Mrs. Wu, or Miss Wu, Selena. Okay? But let's be honest. Faith Roscoe wouldn't have took any of that crap back in the day. But she shows up and she's like, Sonny's like, all right, so do you have the idea of the shooter? And she goes to this neandering story, and Sonny's like, so do you have an idea of the shooter? I'm like, why are we sitting there trying to play 20 guessing games? Do you have an idea? Well, the person that freaking the bar and then, went to the stairs, and I'm just like, boo, why are we dragging out this scene? So she's like, no, I don't have an idea of the shooter, but I have his belongings. You have his clothes. Did you check the clothes to see if it had a wallet or something like that? So you just gave us clothes. They look like they could sit there and do some CSI stuff. I don't understand. This woman gave him clothes and then was just like, so am I back in your good graces? Can you sit there and trust me again? Why do you need to be in Sunny? So many reasons. This scene just it didn't just piss me off because the disrespect. It just pissed me off just how stupid it was. You gave this man clothes and he's like, okay, thank you. What are we gonna do with the clothes? Unless Brick knows somebody in the CSI department of the PD, Port Charles PD, this is not really gonna help. Anyway, they're about to sit there and take the clothes back to the office or the restaurant or whatever, and Dex sees somebody in the water. So he goes and fishes this person out. It's Eileen, and she's dead. So they call the cops, and Joyce and they ask him about 20 questions, like, oh, so you just happen to be walking by? And Sonny's like, all right, here's the thing, I made the call. You want to bring me down for questioning? I'm just going to get Diane, and it's just going to waste everyone's time. Can we just skip past the part where she makes everyone look stupid? Because figure we could just do that instead. So they call Laura, right? Laura. I swear, I didn't wake up this morning past and angry. I didn't. I really did not. But when Laura gets down there and she sees this Eileen, she starts like getting all emotional and crying and everything like that. And I was like, no, 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 no. We ain't doing this. Okay? Because up until before, you were practically just like, no, you're working for us. And if you want to sit there and stay alive and this, that, and the third, it's like, no. You knew damn well that every time there's every second that she was undercover serving you people, that her life was in danger. So for you to sit there and start doing this whole and start crying, I don't want to hear it. Okay, all those tears and everything like that, just stop. She knew exactly the type of danger that Eileen was in. So that just annoyed the living hell out of me. So at some point she leaves to, I guess, make a press conference or something. Anna. Anna and Valentina talking about Eileen and everything, and just this whole thing that's going on with Victor. And Drew comes in there, and Drew's like, yeah, Victor left. So I don't understand how they was able to put together a lot of this stuff. Some of the stuff, okay, fine. There was a lot of guesswork, and I was like, okay. But then when Anna was like, well, she probably did, but she probably went back and tried to get the key, and instead of leaving, and I'm just like, wait, did you get a surveillance footage or something like that? Like, how was you that pinpoint accurate with what she tried to do? I like that made zero sense. That part I laughed because I was just like, wait, I know you've been in this espionage spy game for a while, but come on, girl. Right? Unless you had a source, you knew. Like, there's no way you could have known that she tried to get the encryption key and that stuff. Like, I was just like, nah, but that's just a leap. That's just a huge leap. Sonny comes in and Sonny's like, yep, Eileen's dead. And so now they all look at each other and they realize that they're screwed and that their location is going to be found. And, since Victor isn't at the hotel, that most likely he's coming there to, make sure that everyone is sleeping forever and that necklace is his. So, yeah, at this point, they realize that they're screwed. So, that goes on. In the beginning, you got Spencer and Esme, and Esme's, Ace is kind of sick or whatever, and Esme goes to the desk and she starts barking orders and stuff like that, and Spencer's like, you need to sit there and chill out because you're not going to sit there and see a doctor faster by the way that you're acting. And he sits there and he tries to calm the situation down, and, her being a first-time mother, whatever, she's clearly panicking and stuff. So he's kind of the voice of reasoning, which is odd that I had to sit there and give him points, but whatever, fine. Um, they're going back and forth, and Asmi's like, "Listen, we gotta have to sit there and get along for this child's sake because you keep sitting there treating me like I'm the old version, and I can't even remember who I am. And this tension isn't doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not doing anything." Austin comes in and Austin checks him out, and I guess he has something called colic or whatever, colic. So point is, baby's fine. But he does wind up leaving. Oh, so there's one part where, Spencer Smith there talking about just pretty much kind of talking down to her. And she's like, I want to sit there and try to get a job and, provide for myself and the child. And, Spencer's like, oh, that's funny. You've never worked a day in your life. And I was like, bro, listen, besides that little short stint at Kelly's, whenever you decided that you want to work, you pretty much never worked a day in your life. So I find it to be pretty hilarious and just very idiotic on your part to tell anyone that they've never worked a day in their lives when you're come across as the most spoiled, entitled prick I've ever seen. are among the most entitled, spoiled pricks I've ever seen on a television show. It's like, you're joking, right? And then he leaves, and then I guess, he has some business with Victor, and he sees Victor at the end, and, I guess they're going to sit there and try to frame her, and so that's going to be a thing. Oh, yeah, did I mention that Finn was there? He didn't really do too much of anything. He was just there. He told Cam, you know, have fun and safe journeys or whatever, and, Cam was Smith there saying, just look out for my mother. So that was nice. Um, that's what I said. I was very kind of up and down about this second party because they, whatever. Um, then you had this whole, well, okay. In all reality, the scenes between Ava and Felicia didn't really go anywhere. They were just filler. They were just there to sit there and remind us of everything that went on. That was it. Ryan and Esme, and how she still has a grudge with Esme, and um, of course, she's still feeling scared about Nicola's body being gone, and somehow two grown adults checking. One happens to be a doctor, check the pulse of Nicholas, and yet somehow he's not there, and now, like, they're just scared and they don't know what the hell's going on. Which is amazing because he's alive. Like the second time that happened. How is that possible that you had three people in medicine and somehow, it's what you call lazy writing, but whatever. So yeah, their scene just didn't really go anywhere except for towards the end. Ava wound up meeting up with Esme. Um, Maxie, they need to give her something to do. They need to give her something else to do other than just being annoying at this point. That's all she's been doing. Like you got Trina and Jocelyn rehearsing and stuff like that, and Maxie comes in there. Max is like, "Oh, what? You're not ready?" Da, da, da. She just like is just obnoxious about this whole nurses ball thing that I personally can't wait for it to be over with. But whatever. So they calm her down, and then she runs around with a chicken without a head cut off or whatever that sentence or that saying is called, and then she leaves. So Trina talks about the complication, just the complicated situation with Spencer and Esme, and how it's just, they finally together, and then it's like the universe decides to just throw a monkey wrench in there, aka Esme and the baby. Now things are just all sorts of complicated. So after they talk about that, they talk about Jocelyn's love life, and she's like, "Well, I get it. You're not seeing Cam anymore, and y'all two broke up a while ago." And I'm just like, here's the thing. She said that she wasn't going to be picking sides, and at the end of the day, she's her girl. But I wonder how she would feel because she is friends with Cam, and I wonder how she would feel if she knows exactly how that breakup took place. See, the outside world, it was just they grew apart and they just kind of ended things, and Cam was hurt, and that's just how it is with life. But if she knew that she cheated on her friend, she cheated on Cam with somebody else, I wonder if she would have a different energy. Anyway, Josh does, after a while, Trina figures out that Josh is seeing somebody, but Josh won't sit there and say who it is because it's going to be dangerous and the fallout. And then she remembers a conversation about um, that she had with Spencer. Um, Spencer being all upset with Dex because, well, he's a prick, and that's just pretty much how Spencer is. Um, but then at some point, Dex comes in there, and they're talking for a little bit. And Maxie comes in there. And Maxie is all like, "Oh, you're not ready? You got something to be for rehearsal." And she just acts super annoying. She pulls Dex away because he's going to be part of their little striptease that's totally not degrading towards men whatsoever. Let's just be very clear about that. Okay? I don't think I could actually explain that enough. So she pulls him away, and it almost seemed like, and maybe it's just my imagination, but Trina was like, I feel like Trina kind of guessed who it was. Like Trina might have guessed that it was Dex that Josh is seeing. But I guess we're gonna have to sit there and wait until tomorrow's episode or whenever that they sit there and show them again. Which is kind of odd because Spencer told Sonny about it. Now that Sonny just didn't take him seriously, or he doesn't really care. And I feel like and I could be wrong, but I feel like he's not taking it seriously. Anyway, I guess if that's the case, then I guess it's not really that big of a deal. But if he doesn't really care, but I guess time will tell. I don't know. I can't really think of anything else that happened. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.